You've been wasting my time, Varric. It stops now.
Seeker, you wound me.
The champion nearly starts a war, and you're all too happy to bury it beneath your words. You will tell me about the Qunari.
What's left to say? The Arishok was killed and a champion crowned.
And yet we had Orlesians threatening sanctions of every kind and measure. What happened at Chateau Hain? What happened with Tallis?
You've heard about her?
We had someone there, but they lacked your access. Whatever Tallis was to the champion, it seems like it angered a nation.
Thousands of lives were at stake, Seeker.
Perhaps one still is.
Nicely non-specific. All right, let me set the scene. An ambush, an invitation, a hunting party. All because of Tallis.
And of course, there's no one.
All I know is it had something to do with you and nobles. Edge is usually very reliable.
Reliable at leading us into an ambush, you mean?
Why? It's not always an ambush. All right. Maybe sometimes it's an ambush.
And there is the champion of Kirkwall. You die today. Kill her! Kill all of them!
Well, what are you waiting for?
Who the blazes is that?
Sloppy. You'd think the crows would be better at this. They've been doing it for ages.
Interesting entrance. You have some fine moves.
I do, don't I? My name is Tallis, and I've been looking for you.
Looking for me?
Looking for the man who has an invitation to Chateau Hain, to be specific.
Oh, that's what Edge was on about. You remember? Duke Prosper, the one who fawned all over you at the Champion of Kirkwall banquet. He talked about a hunt.
I doubt I'd go to such a thing.
I was hoping you'd reconsider. The Duke is a delightful host, or so I hear.
Let me guess. This isn't just a social call.
I need to relieve him of something he has no right to possess. And I can't do it alone.
You want us to be thieves?
Well, stealing from Orlesians is never wrong. Or so I've been told.
There's always a catch. Nobody ever helps us unless there's a catch.
This isn't how I was planning to ask you this. I was picturing an introduction with less blood.
I imagine if we did this, it'd be together, wouldn't it?
That's the idea. Or did you have something else in mind?
I just think we should get to know one another.
I think I'd like that.
So tell me, what exactly is it you want to steal?
A jewel. The Duke thinks it's valuable, and it is. Just not in the way he believes. What's more, he shouldn't have it in the first place. He who wishes to walk on water must first learn to swim. Come with me to Chateau Haine. I'll explain everything on the way. If nothing else, you get fine wine and fancy company. But I hope you want more than that.
I don't like the sound of this, Hawk.
You think it's a trap, or you don't want to steal from a nobleman?
I don't think we should be breaking this for someone we just met.
Should I stand plug my ears? We'll head out when you're ready, and I'll explain on the way. The jewel we're after is called the Heart of the Many.
Interesting name.
Interesting jewel. All I care about is getting it away from the Duke. Here's the problem. The heart is in a vault, behind who knows what kind of traps. Protected by a private army of Orlesian chevaliers. All inside a fortress that was designed to be impregnable. And let's not forget, it's on the side of a mountain, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by monsters.
And Justice, dear Prosper, when is this going to get started?
Presently. All right, everyone. You'll know the tradition, yes? The first to find and slay a wyvern wins the honors of the evening. And bragging rights, of course. Good luck to you all.
I'm here by invitation. Would you tell your master that I've arrived?
Ah, the champion of Kirkwall. These are honored guests. Please excuse Gahir. A polite bodyguard is a contradiction in terms, or so I am told.
A chasing? Here?
Ah yes, you are Ferelden, aren't you? You would know these people.
They traded in Lothering sometimes. My family never had a problem with them.
See that, Gahir? Now you have someone to speak to. It's so very chatty, let me tell you. And who is this lovely specimen?
You flatter me, Your Grace.
And I see you brought assistance, already armed and armored. Wonderful. I must say, your presence is a surprise. When we spoke at the banquet, you seemed uninterested when I mentioned our hunt.
I was more interested in getting to know you better, Your Grace.
Oh, well, there is no better opportunity. At any rate, I won't keep you from the hunt. Wouldn't want you to fall behind the others, yes?
I don't think I've ever encountered a wyvern before.
And why would you? There are exceptional beasts, magnificent cousins to the mighty dragon. My only advice? Beware their poison. It's the deadliest thing about them, as well as the most valuable.
Their poison is valuable.
Indeed. From it can be brewed Aquae Lucidius, a libation adored even by the Empress herself.
Drinking poison for sport. That really sums it up, doesn't it?
But here you are wasting valuable time on questions. Do you wish the others to beat you to the prize?
It will be an interesting diversion, I'm sure.
Good luck to you, my lord. Remember, fortune favors the bold.
I provide equipment from the Duke's own stables.
Do not tarry. Victory will not come unless you seek it out.
You have come a long way to join our Duke, Sirrah. You'll pardon me for saying that you do not seem like a hunter. A word of caution since you are new to this.
Wyverns spit venom. Their victims suffer terrible pain before they die.
Death is always the result, then?
Depending on exposure, it may take days. But yes, death is always the outcome if the poison isn't treated.
Since people hunt these creatures successfully, I imagine there's a trick to learn.
Ah, there are many tricks. It is best not to face the beasts head-on. Flank them. Blind them if you can.
I have no doubt this will be a challenge, but I'm sure it's a worthy one.
May Andraste keep you safe. If you fail to avoid the venom completely, there are treatments. A distillation of herbs, equal parts, drake vein, Andraste's mantle, and winterberry can counteract the poison. May the Maker's luck grace your hunt. Be safe, Sirrah.
If you need...
Enjoy your stay at Chateau N.
We'd best get underway before some blighted noble hurts himself.
I cannot help you, I fear. You'll simply have to endure.
I'm afraid I can't help you.
So these are the hunting grounds.
What are we supposed to do? Beat the bushes with sticks?
We just need to look for signs and be careful. We get this over with, we get into the keep.
And that's where the jewel is?
That's where the jewel is.
That wasn't the target.
Do dragons and wyverns even mix? I don't think so.
So if we drop part of this in the right spot, we might lure a wyvern out to protect its territory?
Good thought. Do that. Champion of Kirkwall? Fancy title.
Not that fancy.
So, do you get a stipend? They let you rule the city?
I'm not sure someone can rule that city.
That altar is very old and creepy. I wouldn't touch it. I told you not to mess around with it.
losing ground.
Is very old and creepy. I wouldn't touch it.
I told you not to mess around with it.
Is very old and creepy. I wouldn't touch it.
I told you not to mess around with it.
And creepy.
I told you not to mess around with it.
is very old and creepy.
I told you not to mess around with it.
I'll deal with this!
Is very old and creepy.
I told you not to mess around with it.
Is very old and creepy. I wouldn't touch it.
I told you not to mess around with it.
scepter is very old and creepy. I wouldn't touch it.
I told you not to mess around with it.
I'm losing my focus!
Was a juggernaut.
You